Well, we had a return of one Dodger legend, but a surprising release of two longtime members of the Dodgers, swiftly followed with a sweep from the Angels. Yeah, my name's Ryan Bershinger. She's Monty Bolaños. He's Beau Benson. This is the Sick Podcast, the Dodger Zone. Let's get into it.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to the Sick Podcast. The Dodger Zone.
Cortez delivers. Freeman hits the ball to right field. She is gone! Gibby, meet Freddie. Game 1 of the World Series.
The sickest LA Dodgers podcast.
Fernando Valenzuela has pitched a no-hitter. If you have a sombrero, throw it to the sky.
Start the party, Los Angeles. Your Dodgers have won the World Series.
It's gonna be sick.
Well, not much to party about for the Dodgers at the moment. We are recording this on Tuesday evening, where the Dodgers have lost 4 in a row, 3 of them at the hands of the Anaheim Angels. I guess, okay, I'll do it then. I'll do it. They swept us, so I'll do it. The Los Angeles Angels. Congratulations. Hey, you know what? They finally got us back for everything. They finally got their revenge for Ohtani, for the name, for everything. They finally have a leg up on us.
No, absolutely. What are you talking there? We're feeling what they felt for years, where it's like, oh, Ohtani is the leading home run leader in Major League Baseball, and the Dodgers scored 9 runs, but they lost. Like, that's what they experienced for years. So at least, like, that's what we're experiencing now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Everything evens out. Beau, how did you feel about all that?
I stopped listening when you said nothing to celebrate or whatever it is you opened it. I don't know what you're talking about. Austin Barnes is off my fucking team. So thank you. Who cares about the win-loss in May? No more Austin Barnes. Goodbye.
I think
bye.
Yeah.
Bye, Austin.
That's the reason I think he and Chris Taylor were let go, is because the Dodgers realized, like, we can't have dead weight.
Mm-hmm.
At one point it was okay. We talked about it last season. Chris Taylor is the luckiest guy in the world because the Dodgers are still winning. And so this time the Dodgers are not, it's not even just that they're losing, but the division is intense right now. So like the Dodgers are seeing that, and the organization was like, okay, like now we need to have players that are going to deliver in the 7, 8, and 9 spot. We can't just like go through the motions with them like we maybe did at one point. And this isn't a dig at Chris Taylor. It is a little bit, but like it's hard to be on a roster and play every so often and then have to like deliver when you're not a consistent player. Like, I don't blame him. I hope he can go and play somewhere else and get a consistent role, because I don't think that benefited him, but it's just the way it happened for him. But it's a hard position to be in, and it just was not working anymore.
Yeah, go ahead, Beau.
Well, yeah, I was just, in all seriousness, we've already said, or at least I've already said, that if you care about the results right now before probably September, you're a bozo, and it really doesn't matter. It just doesn't. Like, I'm sorry, they won the World Series like 6 months ago. I could not care less about getting swept by the Angels. But if you do care, A, get some therapy, and B, like, everybody else also lost last weekend. Like, they lost no ground in the division because the Padres got swept by the Mariners. The Giants lost to the Royals last night. So, like, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter. The Angels also already, like, have a winning record against the Dodgers all time. So, whatever. Like, I just don't care.
Yeah, these are good points, and I think it does perfectly contextualize why we did see finally the long expected, sort of long awaited DFA and release of Austin Barnes and Chris Taylor. Barnes is technically still in DFA limbo, but I'd imagine that's just going to end with him being released. Taylor was an outright release because who's going to trade for that contract? So But Monty, I think you're explaining it perfectly. Is the reason why we're seeing this now is, and I applaud the Dodgers for doing this. We are going to actually observe the great things that Barnes and Taylor have done for this franchise in the past. I don't want to. This isn't just a let's dump on them like crazy because
Yeah, I didn't say anything about Chris Taylor.
Sure, yeah, you didn't. But Barnes has
There's one
also
guy.
had plenty of important moments and was crucial in many playoff runs. And we'll get to those later. But in terms of right now, the Dodgers are operating in a way that really a team that just won the World Series should be operating. We've talked about this in the past where the Giants fell into a trap where after they had their World Series runs, they just brought back all of the guys that brought them that title and kind of let them die there, basically. Like they Brandon Belt and Brandon Crawford and guys like that were there for way long after their prime. And when guys like that bring you a title, there's absolutely value in the fact that these teams, the fans really do favor these guys. Chris Taylor, especially, fans loved Chris Taylor.
Yeah.
But for a few years now, both of them have just kind of been taking a place on the roster. And so it is good to finally have another title here where the Dodgers can take a step back and say, okay, we do need to realistically look at things and be aware of the fact that we've got Dalton Rushing needs to get some playing time at some point. He's not going to get everyday playing time, but with Will Smith blocking him, he's never going to get that. So you might as well bring him on up now. Hae-Sung Kim, as we've talked about, needs to be playing every day. And having Chris Taylor on the roster kind of left them in a choice where it's like either send Kim back to AAA so he continues to play every day, or have him just play every day in the majors and just say, hey, thanks for the memory CT. So I think the Dodgers are making very smart decisions by cutting ties with these guys. It is also very much a long time coming. Barnes has been rather bad for a few years now. Taylor has had moments where he's been okay and moments where he's been downright bad. So better late than never, quite frankly. But thanks for the memories, guys. But yeah, right now is the time where this needed to happen.
I just Kim needs to play every day in the infield.
Yes,
not in center field. Stop that.
I fully agree.
Like I was gonna make like a greater point about the Dodgers' insistence on versatility actually harming them in the long run.
Yeah.
Because like they're so focused on making sure that guys can play multiple positions that sometimes I think they forget that they need a guy, especially like in center field. Like I think you just need someone that can go play center field for 162 games or 150 games and you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Like this like adherence to having like Tommy Edman who can play shortstop, second, and center field. Well, it's like if you're a jack of all trades, you're a master of none. Is really like I think they need to rethink that. And then I forget what else I was gonna say, but it'll come back to me. I don't know.
You know,
Again, like what? Like who cares?
You're not wrong, Beau.
cares?
I totally agree with you. And it's like we just have several of those players already. We don't need to make everyone a jack of all trades. I know Kim started in center field, but I don't think that's what they want to do. I think it was to help, Edman as he's starting to come back from that ankle injury. But it's like, yeah, like he should be playing infield. I don't know what happened yesterday. Like, I don't know if he lost. He obviously lost.
I think that
it was so funny.
Honestly, I think that was more on Teoscar than anything else, but nobody wants to ever
It's
blame
just
Teoscar.
If you're in center field, you do have to delegate. Like Teoscar could have caught that. So the problem there was that Kim did not delegate being in center field. And so
I remember the other thing. It doesn't matter. Like we don't really have to talk about Dalton Rushing and where he's going to get playing time because he's going to Pittsburgh anyway. Like that's what one MLB insider reported. So
okay.
Yeah, he's going to Pittsburgh for Paul Skeens.
Monty, if you didn't see, there's this random Twitter account which has like popped up in various off seasons in the past, and like, oh, shocker, they said Freddie Freeman was going to sign with the Dodgers. Yeah, they must have listened to Swing Shift for 3 years prior to that. But hey, so because of that, they will occasionally run things out as if they're an actual insider. And so
Okay.
today they had tweeted that the Dodgers have acquired Paul Skeens for a package that features Dalton Rushing.
Nice.
And if you're a fake insider, like why leverage your position in any way by trying to like pretend that that's even remotely realistic?
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? Like, come on.
Last I checked, Nico Harrison is not the GM of the Pittsburgh Pirates, so I don't think that's going to happen.
He might be.
I don't think that's going to happen.
But I mean, well, that's exactly the move that Adam Silver would call in, though, right? Like you say, hey,
No, exactly. No, you get Paul
Absolutely.
Skeens to the Dodgers, and then you give the Pirates the first overall pick so they can draft some shortstop that's currently playing in high school in 11th grade.
Yeah.
But yes, okay, to that point, yeah, I fully agree. Haesong does need to be playing second base every day. I think, Monse, you're right. I think that was an issue of trying to ease Edman back in because of his injury. We see tonight on Tuesday night, both Teoscar and Edman, I believe, are both not playing. So, but now Haesong, I think, is playing second tonight with Kike playing center field. So, yeah, Haesong Kim should be the everyday second baseman, period. That's 100%. I fully agree. And that was unfortunate, too, because it then got them really started off on the wrong foot last night, where Jack Dreyer is asked to open, and he gives up 2 runs because a ball that literally had an expected batting average of 0 landed for 2 runs. And then Landon Knack came in and looked awful. But credit to Landon Knack for then at least reining it back in a bit to pitch another 4 innings after that. Because that's really my point with what happened with the Angels series as a whole is the pitching staff is so banged up right now. Landon Knack is a quad A pitcher, and that's kind of all he'll ever be. Really, all we should ever expect from him is to be able to eat innings when he can. And luckily he still did that last night. Sure, they lost and he didn't fully help because he looked pretty bad to start it. But he still was able to eat some more innings when the bullpen is already rather taxed. They were used a lot during the Angels series and Kershaw's start and Gonsolin's start. And of course, we're going to talk about Kershaw in a bit. But if anybody is freaking out, I think the one thing I would say is just take a look at the list of guys who have pitched in the last 4 days for the Dodgers alone. Okay, we're talking about innings from Matt Sauer. We're talking about Lou Trevino, who was on the Giants 2 weeks ago, and was relevant like 8 years ago. We've got they tried JP Fireisen at one point again, and then he got DFA'd again. Luis Garcia is a very back end of the bullpen at best in terms of like last guy out of the bullpen at best on any team in the majors right now, and he's just kind of still around because they need him to be. There's a lot of just guys that are just there in the bullpen because we forget that like Blake Trinan has been out for a while. Michael Kopech has been out for the entire season thus far. Evan Phillips went back onto the IL, and of course, not to mention all of the starters that are on the injured list, which does impact the bullpen. So really, yeah, things are rough right now because they look like a team that has a bullpen that is pieced together by a bunch of guys who are barely making rosters across the league. And that kind of happens when you are very liberal with giving pitchers time off, especially early in the season, which is fine in the long run. It's just frustrating right now.
Which is why I hear what you're saying, Beau. Like if we were just losing with our starters, I was like, it's fine. It's only May. But because we're so depleted, it's like we have to get the wins when we can. And it's a good thing. You're right that the Mariners helped us out a little bit and that the Giants also lost. But we do need to try and get those wins that we can in these moments. And it's like we got so lucky last year where in spite of all the injuries, the bullpen kept delivering. And so this feels just like a little bit of, unfamiliar territory because we were so lucky. And so it's just kind of like, oof, like we're not finding the answers, and like letting the Angels score 11 runs when I think they've done that maybe twice this year. Like it's like they were having a ball. They were having a ball against us.
Just to further one note I want to say, just to further contextualize the issues with the bullpen, keep in mind that this was a bullpen that had Yandris Gomez as a member of it a couple weeks ago. He today got DFA'd by the White Sox.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
Not even the White Sox want this guy on their major league squad. So these are the kind of things that they're trying to pick up and piece together in the pen right now. Beau, sorry.
I just think overall I'd be more concerned if like the calendar was later.
Sure.
And if they also they lose, but they're also generally in all of these games. Like even last night, like it wasn't like they were completely out of it until it was over.
Yeah.
So it sucks, but that's baseball. Like this team could get all their guys back and then go on a 25 game winning streak if they really want to. But it really just does. I am a little Yamamoto wasn't great in his last start, and if his velocity is down again today, that's going to be alarms blaring, I think, because who's even left at this point
Miguel
as a
Rojas.
starting pitcher? If Yamamoto has to miss time, that is when I'll hit the panic button lightly.
That's fair. That is fair. Yeah, because that would be if Yamamoto were to have to go on the IL, that is a starting rotation of Yamamoto, Glasnow, Snell, Sasaki, and technically Ohtani. That is, which would be the best rotation in baseball. So, and that's not entirely on the injured list.
It's just it's just wild. Like people talk about the Dodgers like people are panicking and all that stuff and everything, and they have the third best record in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like they have a .604 winning percentage, bested only right now by the Phillies and the Detroit Tigers. Like they're tied with the Mets.
Yeah.
So like I struggle to really like. I see some people freaking the hell out on Twitter, and I just like, what the hell, dude? Like,
definitely.
What does it matter?
Not there. No freaking
honestly, with this team, if they just win 90 games and get into the postseason, but like everybody's healthy, they're gonna win 16 games in the playoffs. They're not gonna lose a playoff game, and they're gonna win the World Series. like. It doesn't matter. Just get to clearly this team too, like the team as a whole, their only focus is being healthy in July and August so they can get hot and go in the playoffs. Like that's all they care about. But then you got people on social media like calling for Dave's head. Cause like Luis Garcia, like the dumbest thing I've seen is people being like, why do they have Luis Garcia instead of Brent Honeywell? And the simple answer is because they're the same fucking pitcher. It does not matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. You are not asking Brent Honeywell to come in when the game is 5-4 in the ninth to get 3 outs so you can win. Like you're not. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Jesus.
Listen, I get it. Hey, Brent Honeywell is a champion, and
I love Brent Honeywell.
Grinded out innings in the postseason.
Yeah, that guy's
and we
a beast. But
forever grateful. He is also unemployed right now, and there's kind of reasons why. And unfortunately, like guys like Anthony Banda and until he was hurt, Kirby Yates obviously like came in, I guess, with a bum hamstring and then gave up a bunch of runs and then left with an even worse hamstring, and now he's on the injured list.
Nice.
But like we have to be on, like Kirby Yates, unfortunately, thus far has been a disappointment, and that's not been super helpful. But if he's a very talented pitcher, if he gets it all together at some point in this season, then that's great. That's totally fine. He's an older pitcher. Like guys will go through cycles like this. As long as he is solid in the second half of the season, I would have confidence in him. Just not right now. Obviously, he's injured at the moment, but in general, there hasn't been a ton of confidence there. The only guys you can have confidence in, luckily, Tanner Scott has been strong. And that's been largely overlooked, I think, because of the way a lot of these games are going. He's been used very much as a traditional closer, unless they like have to get him into a game because they're either blowing people out or getting blown out for multiple days in a row. So that's why we saw him come in against the Angels there. Vesia's solid. Kasperius, I know he gave up a couple runs in that first game against the Angels, but otherwise I have confidence in him, and Jack Dreyer the same. But it's
They just need their
Otherwise,
starters back.
yeah.
Like that,
It's
people
really
don't
all it
get
comes down
that
to.
it's a cascading effect. Like if you have to use your bullpen a ton, those guys are going to get hurt.
Yeah.
So you need the starters back. The starters need to go 5-6 innings. But until that happens, like it's just you're going to kind of scuttle and you're going to win games the way you can. And it is what it is.
Yeah.
But let's talk about, as we've mentioned, Chris Taylor and Austin Barnes. The first move that was made was Austin Barnes being DFA'd, which was surprising. I know some people tried to get, all uppity about like, they did the same to AJ Ellis. Yeah, long after they should have.
Yeah.
Like it was, they did. AJ Ellis and Austin Barnes are actually the same age when they got DFA'd. Like AJ Ellis was what Austin is 35, 36 right now. That's the age that AJ Ellis was DFA'd at. So it is shocking to realize that Austin Barnes has been with the Dodgers for 11 years. This was his 11th season. That's incredible. And he really has not done much in the last 5 years, but being a backup catcher in the majors is a lot like being a backup quarterback in the NFL, where sometimes guys will just make careers out of it because they're smart, because they are at least reliable to kind of play the position in terms of at least defensively and being able to call plays and be in a leadership role. And that's something that Austin Barnes had for a very long time, even long after his bat died off. Obviously, Clayton Kershaw loved pitching to him, which, again, is why it was kind of funny that it did happen just a few days before Kershaw's return. But this was a move that needed to be made because, as I mentioned, Dalton Rushing needed to get up at some point. He's probably gotten to the point where he can do as much developing as he can in AAA. So you might as well bring him up and get him some action here and there. I understand he absolutely should get every day at bats. That would be better for him. But if Will Smith's going to be here for the next decade, it's going to be a long time until Dalton Rushing gets every day at bats. But I mean, credit to Austin because, again, he was the staff sung his praises. The management sung his praises. Everybody loved him as a teammate, and he had moments where he was absolutely crucial. We think back to the 2017-2018 postseason runs. My favorite Austin Barnes memory is 2017. It was game 2 of the NLDS, where this was the game where the Dodgers took game 1. Remember coming into that series in 2017 because the Dodgers were terrible in September. Every analyst was like, oh, the Diamondbacks are going to upset the Dodgers in the first round. And then the Dodgers went on to sweep the Diamondbacks pretty easily. But it was that game 2 where Austin Barnes faced Jimmy Sherfy in the 5th inning and drove a 2-run double down the line to take the lead. And then the Dodgers never looked back at that point. I, of course, remember that as well because Jimmy Sherfy, A, Dodger legend, and B, my CYBA teammate in 7th grade. So I was seeing him make it to the majors, and I was excited for him. And then to watch him then get shelled by the Dodgers in the postseason, I was like, all right. Well, you know what? I'll celebrate this. And then in the 2020 World Series, we completely forget about this game, but Austin Barnes in game 2 had a sac bunt for an RBI, and then later in that game homered, which was crazy because 2020 Austin Barnes homering was wild to us, and this man is still on the team in 2025. So he became the second player to ever have those two things in the same World Series game. So listen, nothing but respect for Austin Barnes. He played so well in 2018 that he took the starting job away from Yasmani Grandal in the postseason. There were a couple seasons where MLB Network in their top 10 right now would have 2 Dodgers in the top 10 of catchers because Austin Barnes was that good. It is just wild to think that was so long ago. So
that's what I was about to say.
the big thing is like this was a long time coming, but still a credit to Austin. He
Absolutely.
helped, and best of luck in wherever he goes next.
And the Dodgers tend to be loyal to a
Yeah.
fault. We've seen that over the years, and I think that's another added like surprise to the whole situation because nobody was expecting it at this moment with Kershaw coming back. I completely forgot about that game where he bunted and home run, but when you said it, I like saw it because I was like, "Oh my god, that I forgot about that." But I got to tell you, the best memories for me of Austin Barnes are the fact that nobody recognizes him on tour. So like he can be in an elevator with a group full of tours and like nobody knows it's him because he's not very tall and catchers wear a helmet. So like that adds to it, right? And so he'll like come into an elevator with people and people won't say anything. And then he'll walk out and then people are like, man, we didn't see a player. And I was like, no, you literally were standing next to one of our catchers, Austin Barnes, in the elevator. And they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, but nobody recognizes him and he loves that. So he just hops in on any elevator. It doesn't matter if there's 50 people in it. He's like, I'm just going to hop in. You guys don't know who I am anyway. So Austin Barnes, I'm going to miss seeing you at the stadium, especially sneaking in to those elevators where you knew you weren't going to be bothered.
I will say though, there's a real chance that we'll just end up seeing him at the stadium anyway, because he might not actually get a job with another team. He could very well end up being a bench coach for the Dodgers by the end of the season, or be their bullpen catcher or something. Why not?
They always need guys in the stands slinging hot dogs. So.
Beau, do you have anything positive to say
No.
about Austin?
No, I do not. No, I do not. I'm sure he's a wonderful guy.
Well, I'll let you do this.
I was gonna say I had someone come into my Twitter mentions to tell me I was on crack because I said that Chris Taylor was just as important as Justin Turner.
Yes. Yeah. I wanted to set
so
you
that guy can go fuck himself. What an idiot.
But no, I think you have a strong take on how Chris Taylor should be viewed by Dodger fans. So
like he was with him and Justin Turner were like the first guys that they got off the scrap heap and turned into like legitimate, like multi-win players in the majors. Like it was a meme for a long time, but like the Dodgers traded Zach Lee to get Chris Taylor from the Mariners. And like almost immediately he turned into a complete terror out there. Like I don't remember what his first year was with the Dodgers, but like he was like that guy where it's like, all right, we'll see what this guy can do. And then before you know it, it's like, oh, wow, this guy is everywhere on the field doing everything. And yeah, in 17, 18, like I don't think people remember just how important he was overall to that team winning. How many wins do you guys think in 2017 and 2018 he was? What was his WAR in those 2 years combined?
Oh, geez. He might have been close to 10, right? Like
8.7.
I mean, that's great. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, 4.5 in 17, 4.2 in 18.
Yeah,
like what? It's not even close. Like he was huge in those years. So, like Chris Taylor, it's legitimately a bummer to see him fall off. But like it again, like we've said, like it's also just it's time. Like that's going to happen to everybody eventually. Like I hate to break it to people, but like Freddie Freeman one day is not going to be an MVP candidate the way he is now. Like Mookie Betts may already be there. I don't know. Mookie's an interesting case this year. Ohtani eventually is going to stop playing. It just Father Time's undefeated, man.
Honestly, like the Dodgers are doing right by Chris Taylor because he wasn't going to get out of the slump with not playing consistently.
Yeah.
He wasn't. He just wasn't. And they gave him enough of a chance to try and do that by randomly playing here and there. But they're doing right by him because he can easily still go on another team, get an everyday job, and go back to being that Chris Taylor. Go back to being good but he wasn't going to get there. Not with the Dodgers. Not with the rotation. Not with the expectation of what they wanted him to do in that position. It was not going to happen for him.
In those 2 years, he had the same or better WAR than Cody Bellinger.
Yeah.
And like if I had said that Cody Bellinger was just as important as Justin Turner to the Dodgers in those early the beginning of these dynasty years, no one would be in my Twitter mentions telling me I'm on crack. I'm sorry. Nobody would. So respect Chris Taylor. Thank you for everything.
Absolutely.
My a couple of my favorite Chris Taylor moments. I mean, of course, we mentioned his greatest highlight was the walk-off home run in the wild card game, of course, and like that also got him his second contract, really. But I think I'm gonna say one of the ones that you think instead, Bo, because I think the most important one was his wild catch in Game 7
Yes.
against the Brewers in the 2018 NLCS.
Yep.
Because if that ball doesn't, if you don't remember that play, it was practically over the shoulder going towards the wall.
It's insane.
It's nuts. It's
It was
nuts. And
insane.
if that ball gets down, the game is tied. And
Mhm.
and that's probably a double from Yelich when then now he's in scoring position and they could easily take the lead. So they probably don't get to the World Series without that play. So yeah, that's I think that is that's especially how I will remember Chris Taylor. I also love so much was his leadoff home run in 2017 in the World Series, because that was, you know, this is the first time in my lifetime that I'm watching the Dodgers play in the World Series, and I have no idea what to expect, knowing how good the Astros were, and that it's the Dodgers are at home, so they get through the top half of the first easily, and then Chris Taylor comes up, and the first pitch from Dallas Keuchel, Chris Taylor damn near hits it out of the stadium. Like, I don't think he's ever hit a ball that far since then. He absolutely destroys that ball, and for that moment, I was like, oh my God, I might actually watch the Dodgers win the World Series. And I eventually did. that moment came soon, you know, a while after that. But yeah, I that is that's a moment that will forever stick out to me. And just as a whole, when you equate him with the likes of Justin Turner, I think Taylor's important because him and Justin Turner and Max Muncy really exemplify what the Andrew Friedman regime has been all about in terms of how they've created the Dodgers into this powerhouse. Of course, you have to draft and develop well, which they've always done. And you have to acquire big name free agents and make trades for huge value, which they've done. But the third thing that you have to be able to do is you've got to find value where other people can't.
Yeah.
And Chris Taylor was somebody that they found value in. I understand, you know, obviously the Dodgers will cycle through guys at the end of their roster in hopes that somebody breaks through. But I like to believe that when you look at guys like Turner and Taylor and Muncy, these were all guys who had tools that the Dodgers were able to maximize to a point where you kind of look at them and go, how did no one else figure that out? Like, Taylor was obviously extra athletic, and he quickly turned into a 25-25 sort of guy who can give you plus defense at like 6 different positions. And you look at him and you go, how did nobody see that? The Dodgers were able to see that, and CT had an incredible career because of it. And I wonder how he will be looked at. I've thought of like other Dodger greats of the past and kind of trying to equate them. Like, is he going to be like the way that like people talk about Ron Say, or is he closer to like maybe a Steve Sachs? I don't know. I feel like Say is a decent comparison. But yeah, I you know, it is, he was a huge fan favorite, and he got to hang around for a long time. And even though that contract was an albatross for the last few years, it never really mattered because one, obviously the Dodgers have so much money, it doesn't matter. But two, you never felt angry that the Dodgers would give that sort of money to Chris Taylor when he's not providing that value. Like, he was a fan favorite, and he got 2 rings out of it. So I'm happy that he was able to do all that, and I'm sure, I hope he does get an opportunity to play elsewhere, because there's still value there.
Yeah.
Be pissed when it's the Giants or the Padres.
It probably will be.
He's gonna hit 3 home runs at Dodger Stadium again.
He's got Giants written all over him.
He does.
It's unfortunate.
Really does.
So if he goes there, I hope he continues to stink it up.
Well, let's close this out by talking about an obvious Dodger legend who made his return to the mound. That's Clayton Kershaw. And he looked fantastic in his first batter. Like oh my god, that looked great. And he's his strikeout he is climbing. He's climbing to his milestone. So that's all.
I don't care if he gives up 20 runs.
I don't
You
either.
put him out there so he can get his 30 strikeouts. I don't care. I don't care. If we don't let him try and do it, I know, man, he's probably going to get 2 strikeouts a start. But you put him out there for a couple 10 more starts, and I don't care. I don't care. You guys, he might be the last one to reach 3,000. He really might be. Yeah. Chris Sale is at like 2,400. And he was, I think, one of the leaders in strikeouts last year with like a little over 200. So he still has to do another 2-3 years if he can stay healthy and like do all that. The next one is Garrett Cole, who's dead. And so he's at like 2,200. And so you guys, I don't think we're going to see another player do this. You have to let him do it. I don't care how many runs he gives up. Send him out there.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, they don't have a choice.
That's true.
If Kershaw can't go, they might be calling you. So
I can do it. I can do as good of a job as Miguel Rojas. Okay, I can do it.
Yeah, whatever. Just let him go out there. It's nice.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah.
And quite frankly,
I'll never say no to more Kershaw. Like I'll never. He can pitch as long as he wants to.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I understand. Like, this is going to happen sometimes here. This might happen a majority of the time this season when he starts. But you know what? Again, we love Kershaw so much, and he's got to get to that number. Like he has to. So
for the
we're
sake of baseball, not even for the sake of baseball, he's got to get it.
And if your issue is like, well, if he doesn't go super deep into the game, he's going to tax the bullpen. Yeah, but like, I don't know. Tony Gonsolin also threw 4 innings in that series. That was a standard Tony Gonsolin. The 4 innings, 4 runs, 98 pitches. Like that was a classic Tony Gonsolin. So, no, I
thought he had turned a corner too.
Yeah, I know.
Tony,
and I don't want to throw out Tony. Like he's still working his way back, and there's been flashes of good stuff from him. So I'm glad that he's still part of the rotation at the moment. But this is, if Clayton gives up runs, like, don't freak out. Like, just understand, like, this is kind of, we need this. Okay, we're just having fun here.
Trust the plan.
Yeah.
Trust the
plan. He's not gonna give up so many runs that his ERA is gonna fall out of Hall of Fame level. His ERA is already elite. So his career ERA is going to be totally fine. It just needs to get to that strikeout number, and everything will be okay. Okay. I think this now very much feels like, all right, this is going to be his last season. Like that's definitely what it feels like now. And I want him to say it too. I want to know that it's his last season. Like I want him to come out and say, like, this is going to be it.
Yeah.
Let's have the scary part about that is we given the fact that he could get hurt at any moment, then it makes it feel like, all right, then you have no idea which start is going to be his last. But I would feel a lot better if we just knew that this was it, you know? So, and it probably is. And that's okay. Okay. First ballot Hall of Famer, 2-time world champion. Going to be the last to 3,000 strikeouts. So enjoy it. Celebrate it. We're going to close this out here. Monse, were you the Dodgers also, since the last time we recorded, by the way, the Dodgers did win a game 19-2. So let's all calm down.
Did you guys see Johnny, I think Pereda, the like backup catcher that struck out Ohtani? Like Ohtani wanted that ball so bad, and he missed it, and he kept the ball. Like they threw him back the ball, and he threw it in the dugout. He's like, I struck out Ohtani. I'm going to keep this. Yes. I am going to keep this ball. I would have done the same thing. The same thing. But yes, awesome. They did win. And we'll hopefully the 4-game losing streak ends tonight. Hopefully.
Monty, you worked the Otani bobblehead night part
Yes.
2
Yes,
or 3.
that's it.
Is that the third one so far, or the second one?
That was the second one.
The second one.
The
Okay.
second one, but there's going to be
No.
2 more.
Okay.
It's
And
the same ones. It's this. They're
same.
doing
Yeah.
2 and 2. So it was the 50-50. The stolen base is the one that stolen bases is the one that they just did, and then they're gonna do another MVP and another 50-50.
And still a madhouse that they having
Absolute madhouse. Like I couldn't. It's just like you're just like, man, everybody no matter what the Dodgers tried to do, people still came early, and everybody got a bobblehead. They announced it again. If you have a ticket, you can get a bobblehead. But I think people just take it as like a holiday and just like take the day off and still come super early. So it was still a madhouse, even though you're gonna get everyone's gonna get one. Everyone and their mom who has a ticket, like, don't worry, didn't matter.
Good.
People still like we're like, no, I'm gonna be there when the gates open.
All right. Well, hopefully next week we're talking about some wins here. Okay.
Yeah.
Again, they won that one 19-2. Okay. They can still do that. That was less than a week ago. Everyone calm down. So for Beau, do you have any final thoughts?
No.
I don't want to just
No.
I
really don't.
Just
No.
you're just like I'm sitting on this.
No thoughts.
Okay.
No
Okay.
thoughts.
Well, thank you. Good. We're okay. So for Beau Benson and for Monse Bolaños, my name is Ryan Bershinger. This is the Sick Podcast, the Dodger Zone. Follow us on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. So until next time, everyone, domo arigato. Thank you very much.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast, the Dodger Zone, on YouTube, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.